In Pit Lane, proudly brought to you by Online Invent, websites, digital marketing and custom software.
Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of In Pit Lane, coming to you from here in the corporate headquarters of In Pit Lane beyond the suburban curtain. Well, what a weekend we've had at the Le Mans 24 Hours. It was a great race, a great weekend, and we're going to have that. It's going to feature very heavily in tonight's program, not just what happened on the track, but also, of course, all of the big news that came out of the meeting, as always happens at Le Mans. In fact, it's a packed program of news. We've got news from Winton, we've got drag racing, we've got NASCAR, we've got all sorts of things, MotoGP, it's all coming up. In fact, look, why waste any more time? Let's just head straight into it, find out what's been happening locally, nationally and internationally. This is the In Pit Lane Motorsport News. Well, the Indianapolis 500 may well bill itself as the greatest spectacle in all of motorsport, but the rest of the world well knows that the greatest spectacle in motorsport is clearly the annual running of the Le Mans 24 Hours. The 2023 version of Le Grand Prix d'Endurance has more reasons to celebrate than most. Not just the fact that it was the 100th anniversary of the race, but it was also the beginning of the new hypercar era, with entries from major manufacturers like Peugeot, Cadillac, Porsche, and after a 50-year absence at the top level, Ferrari. It also happened to be a classic race. A huge crowd of over 300,000 packed into the Circuit de la Sarthe for the 100th anniversary running of the world's greatest race, the 24 Hour of Le Mans. As the formation lap concluded, four-time NBA champion LeBron James waves the French flag to officially get the race underway. But the race didn't start smoothly for everyone. The Cadillac of Jack Aitken lost control on the damp track and crashed into the barriers at the Daytona chicane, bringing out the first full-course yellow of the day. After the brief interruption, the race resumes, with the number 8 Toyota leading the pack, closely followed by the 2 Ferraris and the number 7 Toyota. In the words of Jason Statham, and he's been quoted by so many, "It always rains at Le Mans," the sudden heavy downpour causing chaos. After a prolonged safety car period, the Toyotas decided to pit, putting them at a disadvantage. They'd kept their wet tyres on, expecting the rain to continue. It didn't. As we entered the 5th hour of racing, each of the 5 major constructors in Hypercar had taken turns leading the field. The new category seems to be working. More drama up front as the race leader, Yifei in the Porsche, slides into the tyres near the Porsche curves. With significant damage to the rear end of the car, the Chinese driver limps back to the pits, putting an end to their hopes of a podium finish. As the Ferraris and the Peugeot made pit stops, the path clears for Toyota to regain the lead. However, the Porsche, driven by Nicolas Tandy, is also very much still in contention. More bad news for Porsche, however, as the 75 car with Mathieu Jaminet behind the wheel suffered a power failure and stopped on the track. The car eventually made it back into the pits, but despite efforts to fix the issue, they were out of the race. There was plenty of fireworks on and off the track as spectators were treated to a magnificent fireworks display marking the celebration of the 100th anniversary of the race. More drama up front as the 51 AF Corsa Ferrari spins and gets trapped in the gravel. It's a tense moment for the team and driver Alessandro Piacquidi, whose hopes for victory appeared at that point to be over. Chaos erupts on the track as the Toyota of Kamui Kobayashi is hit from behind by the JM Motorsport Ferrari GTE and the number 35 LMP2 Alpine. While the Toyota manages to restart, the Ferrari was left stranded in the middle of the track. Just after midnight and desolation at Toyota, The heavy crash between Kobayashi and Lewis Prete left the team distraught. The number 7 Toyota heads back to the pits for repairs, but for this year, their challenge is over. The Peugeots were surprising everyone with their strong performance, but Gustavo Mendez's 94 Peugeot also fell victim to the challenging conditions. With a severely damaged front end, he limped back to the pits for urgent repairs. As both the Ferrari and the Peugeot made their stops, Alessandro Pierguidi launches his comeback. And despite a driver change, the Ferrari emerged from the pits in the lead, overtaking Toyota to set up a classic fight to the flag. In the final Le Mans for the LMGTE category, Matteo Caroli in the 56 Project 1AO car makes a decisive move to overtake Rahel Frey in the 85 Iron Dames Porsche to reclaim the lead in that class. Olivier Plas-Glickenhaus spun out at Indianapolis, making contact with the wall. However, the car managed to restart and limps its way back to the pit lane for assessment and repairs. With the race approaching its final hours, the Ferrari of Pierguidi engages in a thrilling battle with the Toyota of Buemi, making a superb move in the second chicane on the outside to reclaim the lead. Hollywood actor Michael Fassbender exited stage right after a crash in the Proton competition Porsche at the iconic Porsche Curves. A disappointing end to what had been a good race for the Hollywood star so far. With only a few hours to go, more drama strikes as the second-place Toyota, now driven by Ryo Hirakawa, locks up and hits the wall at Anage. The impact required repairs, but the team did an amazing job to get the car back on track quickly, but now seemingly out of contention for the win. The final lap, and a factory Ferrari is poised for its first victory at Le Mans in 5 decades. All the stress, all the emotion reach their peak as Alessandro Pierguidi in the 51 AF Corsa Ferrari takes the checkered flag for the Marque's first victory at La Sarthe since 1965. In LMP2, the underdog Polish family team, Inter-Europol competition, clinches an incredible and emotional victory. And at the end of an era, the 33 Corvette secures the victory in the final appearance of the GTE AM category and the Works Corvette racing team. The victorious Ferrari drives to the winner's circle in front of a massive crowd to begin the long night of celebration ahead. The 100th anniversary of the Le Mans 24 Hour certainly didn't disappoint and has left an indelible mark on the history of this legendary race. The next century begins on June the 15th, 2024. Vive la France, vive Le Mans. We're going to take a break now here on In Pit Lane, but when we come back, we're going to take you up the Hume Highway to Winton for the latest round of the Speed Series, plus coming up a little bit later on in the program, the Finke Desert Rally. We've got NHRA action and a whole lot more. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Get the phone ringing for your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Yes, once again, we really do want to say thank you to Online Invent for their support of In Pit Lane over the last couple of years. They have kept the program on the air here on Channel 31. As I've said before, even though nobody gets paid to do the program here on Channel 31 and we get access to the wonderful facilities in at RMIT, it does cost quite a lot of money to put this program together every week. There's catering, there's equipment, there's travel and accommodation. When we go to places like Phillip Island or up to Winton, Broadford, any of those sort of places, we've got to put people up, and it costs, as you well know, it costs a lot of money. So we really do appreciate any support we get, and Roy and his team at Online Invent have been fantastic. They're specialists in online marketing, and as we've said before, what they've done for our online profile has been incredible. I was just looking the other day at our Facebook page, and in the last month or so, we've had close to 100,000 interactions on our Facebook page. That's ridiculous in terms of what we used to get, and that's all because of the support of Roy and his team at Online Invent. So if they can do that for us, just imagine what they can do for your club, your event, your business. A lot of people go online and they think it's just a matter of putting up a website and walking away and forgetting about it. The occasional social media post. No, it's actually far more scientific and far more advanced than that. It really is almost a full-time job. Well, it is a full-time job for a lot of businesses. And if you don't have the skill and the resources to be able to do it, then you need somebody like Roy and the team at Online Invent to do it for you. So why not give them a call? If you want to find out more about them, go to their website. It's at www.onlineinvent.com.au. That's onlineinvent.com.au, and see what they can do for your business, your company, your event. Online Invent, we thank them once again for their incredible support of In Pit Lane, RMITV Student Television and Channel 31. Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Well, there was certainly no shortage of news off track at Le Mans as well. The Friday before the race always sees plenty of major announcements, and this year was no different, with the unveiling of the new Alpine Hypercar and the public debut of Ford's new Mustang GT3. Alpine, the sporting arm of Renault, has a long and proud history at Le Mans. Now the company's coming back with this new hypercar, the Alpine A424. Powered by a 3.4-litre single-turbo V6, putting out around 670 brake horsepower, the car will run under the IMSA LmdH regulations. With a chassis from Orica, the Alpine follows a proven path, unlike the radical wingless concept of fellow French manufacturer Peugeot. The A424 will initially be run by Signatech, a long-standing partner of the brand in LMP2 since 2013. Alpine will also be looking to attract other teams alongside its factory hypercar team so it can compete on several fronts, including in the USA in the IMSA North American Sports Car Championship. Speaking of the USA, Ford have had a somewhat tumultuous relationship with Le Mans over many decades. The company first won at Sarthe in 1966, the start of a famous 4-year run of victories. They returned as a factory in the Ford GT to win the GTE class in 2016. In 2024, they will return. Sort of.
There's no greater Ford racing story than Le Mans. It's full of history, excitement, and wonder. And we're deciding to return to Le Mans with our most iconic nameplate.
People have memories of Mustang from the time they were 16 and learned to drive all the way to their last car. Very few cars have the heritage that Mustang does. Going to Le Mans and showing all those people who love Mustang around the world that this new Mustang is not only a very credible Mustang, it's the very best Mustang yet, and it's going to race and win just like all the others.
I'm proud to introduce to you the Mustang GT3. It's a Mustang that brings years and years of heritage into the future. Set to inspire the hearts and minds of an entire new generation of Mustang fans. Now, who's ready to go racing with Mustang at Le Mans?
The new Mustang GT3 features a rear-mounted transaxle gearbox, carbon fibre body panels, as well as a unique aero package developed to meet GT3 targets. Ford Performance extended its relationship with two long-time partners in Multimatic and M Sport for the basis of the project. Multimatic, builders of the iconic Ford GT, will help build and support the GT3s, while long-time World Rally Championship partner and two-time championship winning team M Sport will assemble the Ford Performance-developed 5.4-litre Coyote-based V8 engines. Sound familiar? Before going to Le Mans in 2024, the Mustang GT3 will compete in various GT3 series across the globe in the hands of customer teams. The first customer team is Proton Competition. Better known for their strong ties with Porsche, Proton intends to campaign a pair of Mustang GT3s in the FIA World Endurance Championship, starting in 2024. Ford Performance will also field a two-car factory race program with the Mustang in IMSA's GTD Pro class. This will be managed by Multimatic Motorsports and will begin at the 2024 Rolex 24 at Daytona. With all the attention on the brand new and internationally relevant GT3 Mustang, you have to wonder how committed will the Blue Oval be towards the similar spec Aussie supercar that competes nowhere outside of Australasia, especially if they keep getting beaten by Camaros. But we look forward to seeing the new car at the Bathurst 12 Hour in 2025. The National Speed Series rolled into Winton in northeast Victoria last weekend for its latest round. The series regulars were joined by the sports sedans, touring car masters and Formula Ford. But the main event of the weekend was the growing TCR series and a return to the winner's circle by Hyundai. Hyundai driver Bailey Sweeney came out on top after last weekend's TCR Australia Series round at Winton. Sweeney extended his lead with a dominant victory in race 3 after British driver Tom Oliphant won his first Australian race in the reverse grid race 2. Saturday's race 1 winner Michael Clemente had a Sunday to forget, crashing out in race 3. Lockie Dalton won both Sunday's races in the National Trans Am Series. He had a clean sweep of victories for the weekend, with James Moffat and Cody Gillis also finishing on the podium. Stephen Johnson and John Bowe both won races in the Touring Car Masters Series on Sunday. Johnson took his second victory of the weekend, while Bowe made a great comeback after mechanical issues to win race 3. Joey Mawson dominated the S5000 Australian Drivers' Championship, winning all 3 races for the weekend. Aaron Cameron and James Golding finished on the podium. Jude Bargwanna dominated a very small field in the V8 Touring Car Series to lead home Jim Policina and Tyler Everingham. Tony Ricciardello, Josh Hayes and Jordan Caruso all shared the race wins in the opening round of the National Sports Sedan Series. However, it was the consistent Ashley Jarvis in his Monaro who claimed the overall round victory. The Supercar Championship returns this weekend with a big Triple Crown event at Darwin's Hidden Valley Raceway. It's the annual Indigenous round, with teams running some spectacular new liveries designed by young Indigenous artists. Erebus drivers Brodie Kostecki and Will Brown have set the track alight this year to challenge the once dominant Triple Eight racing team. The Red Bull Brigade are looking to strike back this weekend in Darwin, where the drivers will face an extra challenge, Darwin's tropical heat.
Yeah, I suppose it's just great in the middle of the year to head up somewhere where it's nice and warm, and it's an awesome place to go. And honestly, we always talk about it as one of our coolest events because everyone gets behind it so much, and now the liveries, everyone seems to be really getting behind it, and just makes it a massive event. So the whole team's really looking forward to getting up there, and hopefully we can have the results that go with it. But the heat's a tough one. I mean, us Queenslanders are starting to get a little bit cool down here, so we're looking forward to getting up north, but yeah, it's going to be hot. I mean, these cars are going to be real interesting. We sort of complained about the heat at the start of the year, but we've forgotten about it for a while. So it'll be interesting to see, but we'll just be doing as much as we can to keep us cool up there and chill out as much as we can. But certainly looking forward to the warm weather.
It's going to be hot as hell in those cars, but I guess we've got to put the toolbox in the right place.
And we'll have all the news from Darwin next week on the program. But right now we're going to take another break here on Channel 31. When we return, we're going to have more news, including our international wrap. Don't go away. You're watching In Pit Lane. We'll be right back. Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Well, also in the Northern Territory, it was another win for Toby Price and Josh Duncan in the annual Finke Desert Race. It was the third straight four-wheel victory for Price, adding to his 6 wins on 2 wheels.
Yeah, we were coming into this one a little bit unprepared, like coming back in from the Baja races and stuff. We didn't know what to expect, but we just wanted to go flat out, put on a show, and try and see if we can wring the neck of this Tisco truck. And it's done an amazing job, and we've got a 3 in a row. So we're stoked.
It was a bit of a perfect run for yourself. You had no troubles, did you?
No, honestly, it was good clean run yesterday. Yeah, we pushed pretty hard just to try and... It's so hard to start at the front. You don't know what people are doing behind you, but yeah, all went really well, and then just did a quick little check over in the truck, and then just babied the thing home. So it was nice, good, smooth, clean run, and Duncan did an amazing job, and yeah, we're stoked to be here.
And how does it feel to be a three-time champion?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's 3 in a row, and to have 9 championships out here, it's pretty crazy. I don't know. Now I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'll see what I can do next year. But now the double digit looks pretty good. So it's like, do we come and go again? So I think it'll be a pretty big feat to try and get 4. But the boys are on a charge, and we're looking forward to see what will happen.
Congratulations.
Hey, champion, thank you.
Greg, well, congratulations. 2nd place in the Finke Desert Race.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, we had a good run on the way home. Yeah, really give it a push, and yeah, we got 2nd. We're wrapped.
Bit of a tough prologue day, but you managed to make up a bit of ground yesterday, and then today just charged through. Tell us about your run up.
Yeah, really, like with prologue, we try not to. We don't really want to bin it. Like, we don't want to roll it. We don't want to do any damage, you know, in prologue. So we just seem to be off a little bit. We need to push harder on prologue, to be honest, just to get up there a bit further. On race day, on the way down, had a reasonably good run. Look, we just run our own race down, to be honest. We had a bit of dust, and then that dust cleared up, and then we just raced to the end, and we just wanted to get down the other end, to be honest, so we could regroup and work out what we're going to do today.
Greg Gartner finished 2nd, with Travis Robinson taking 3rd place to extend his Motorsports Australia Off-Road Championship lead. This year's bike category saw a win to David Walsh. The event had been under a cloud following a damning coroner's report into the death of a spectator in last year's event, but after some uncertainty, a permit for this year's race was given, and it went off, thankfully, without a hitch. Well, despite the eyes of the motorsport world being clearly focused on Le Mans, there was still plenty of other motorsport action around the world last weekend. NASCAR went road racing in the wine country of Sonoma, the TCR World Tour continued in Italy, and drag racing fans at Bristol got a double dose of action with not 1 but 2 sets of finals. And it's there that will kick off this week's In Pit Lane International Wrap. Bob Tasker, the 3rd, powered to his first win of the season on Saturday at Bristol Dragway, knocking off the legendary John Force in the final round of the NHRA's New England Nationals, which were completed as part of a doubleheader weekend at Bristol. Due to bad weather, eliminations from the previous Epping race were postponed to last weekend as part of the NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals. Top Fuel's Justin Ashley also claimed victory with a whole-shot win over Tony Schumacher in a thrilling final round. Ashley was back the next day to once again take victory, this time over Antron Brown. In Funny Car, it was a monumental day for Ron Capps, who became the all-time leading race winner at Bristol, picking up his 7th win at the track in the final against Alexia DeGioia.
They're both motoring down the course. What a drag race, and it's Ron Capps. 399.8 beats a 399.9.
In Pro Stock, Erica Endez put to rest her early season struggles with her first win of the season over Derek Kramer. In a major upset in the Pro Stock motorcycles, Steve Johnson won in the final when points leader Gage Herrera jumped the start to suffer his first loss of the season.
And we're racing in Sonoma.
Martin Truex Jr. has won his 3rd career race at Sonoma Raceway on Sunday, cruising to victory lane, outlasting Kyle Busch and Joey Logano. Truex's Toyota teammate Denny Hamlin started on pole, but he spun out of contention late in the race and finished 25th. Truex's win was his 2nd of the season and 5th top 5 finish. Much like the local Sonoma Valley wines, Truex just seems to be getting better with age. The latest round of the new TCR World Tour was at the Bologna circuit in Italy. Race 1 saw a 1-2 finish for Hyundai, with Norbert Michelis extending his TCR World Tour lead with victory over teammate Mikel Azcona. Sunday's race saw the return to the winners list of experienced touring car specialist Rob Huff. Nestor Giolami preempted the starting lights and almost drove into the rear of the pole-sitting car of Marquin Ho, earning himself a 5-second penalty and dropping to 6th place. Huff went past early leader Jan Erlacher and went on to win by over a second. Race 1 winner Mikulic finished 5th and continues to lead the championship ahead of the next race at the Hungaro Ring next weekend. And defending world champion and hometown hero Francesco Pecco Bagnaia has won the Italian MotoGP at Mugello. The Italian racer won the 23-lap race by 1.67 seconds. Fellow Ducati riders Jorge Martin and Johann Zarco finished second and third, much to the delight of the local crowd. Australia's Jack Miller was well in contention early, but fell back to finish in 7th place. Remember to join us live every Wednesday night at 8:30 for another edition of Full Course Yellow, the In Pit Lane live chat show. We're live right across the internet on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel and Facebook page. Send your questions, make your comments. We'd love to have you along. That's Full Course Yellow every Wednesday night at 8:30. And in the famous words of Steve Jobs, just one more thing. Congratulations to Melbourne driver and friend of the program James Allen for another Le Mans win. Behind the wheel of the Algarve Pro Racing Oreca 07, Allen and his American teammates George Kurtz and Colin Braun won the LMP2 Pro-Am class. The trio took the lead late into the night, going on to have a trouble-free run as they secured their class victory. After this win and his last lap heroics at Daytona, you've really got to wonder how long it'll be before James gets that much-deserved major team drive. Also, a huge congratulations once again to our friends at Radio Le Mans for another brilliant race coverage. And well done to their newest member, Australia's own Richard Crail. Crailsy was clearly overawed at the grandeur and scope of the Circuit de la Sarthe, but if you haven't been there before, it is a huge eye-opener. But he did an excellent job and certainly gained plenty of praise from the occasionally overcritical internet community as well. And I have no doubt that, like most of us, he'll be counting the days until he gets back there again in 2024. Well, that's all we have time for this week on In Pit Lane. Remember to join us every Wednesday night at 8:30 for our live regular get-together, Full Course Yellow. It's just a group of us sort of, sitting around, chewing the fat, talking about motor racing, a little bit of bench talk. That's every Wednesday night at 8:30. Look, we would love you to join us. So put that in there, put that in your diary and keep it there. It also, if you haven't subscribed to the In Pit Lane YouTube channel, or if you're not following us on Facebook, can I suggest that you do that as well? That way you'll know whenever we release new content, you'll get the news straight away. But until we see you next week on the program, from all of us here at In Pit Lane, thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.